Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing yet another movie review, so hopefully you find this one interesting. This movie is a crime thriller from Denmark, Danish language, English subs, released in the year 2022, directed by Barbara Topsøe Rothenborg, and this film is called Loving Adults. So Loving Adults is about a seemingly perfect, wealthy married couple. The husband owns his own business. The wife had been looking after their son, who was very, very ill when he was young, but now he's a teenager and he's improving a lot. So everything seems to be perfect, but unfortunately behind the scenes, everything is not perfect. The husband wants to change the scenery. He believes that he's not happy anymore and he sees an opportunity to pursue that happiness, but the wife is not going to let him do that so easily. So he comes up with a plan that he believes is going to work, but this plan backfires horrendously. That leads to a series of consequences that sends his life into a downward spiral. So what that spiral is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now, my thoughts on Loving Adults. I went into this movie with a lot of excitement, but a lot of skepticism at the same time. So I had my shield up to prevent myself from overhyping this movie, which would have been very unfair because I hadn't heard anything about the movie. So Dar Salem and Sonia Richter are in this film. They are phenomenal actors. And so that was the reason why I wanted to see it. But the fact that no one really gives this movie attention was the reason why overhyping it was very dangerous. So I was hoping that it was going to be a typical Scandinavian experience, but basing expectations on previous movies is a dangerous thing. So I was giving myself every opportunity to give this movie a fair shot. And after watching the movie, I am surprised that no one really talks about it, because it's probably the most surprising experience that I've had all year. This is a phenomenal crime thriller, and it does fall victim to most English-speaking audiences who just don't want to read subtitles. So if you can multitask and you can read and watch at the same time, then this is a movie that is definitely going to appeal to you, because as far as crime thrillers are concerned, they are a forgotten art. And the reason is because a lot of ideas in crime thrillers aren't really long enough to sustain the length of the film. But this movie understands the brief absolutely perfectly. Just when one idea has been exhausted, another idea jumps on top of that and it evolves the situation. And I thought the continuity was extremely fluent, and I thought everything about this movie worked. And the reason why it worked as well as it did is because of Sonia Richter's performance as this wife. And the wife really sums up the movie. Nothing is ever as it seems. And as you get that twist and turn around the corner, you get a different experience. And so the film starts off as a loving married couple, but then it spirals into something quite horrific. And it borders on a horror film, because when you actually know about Sonia Richter's character, this is where the cat is thrown amongst the pigeons and nothing is as it seems and all bets are off. And when you have that vulnerability of not having control, takes you on that car ride, and you know that it's going to crash eventually and you're bracing for impact, but you're not quite sure when that impact is coming. So the suspenseful levels are absolutely through the roof. Dar Salem plays the husband, and I thought was a fairly decent performance, but he was definitely supporting Sonia Richter's performance. And so if you like movies that are very psychological, then Loving Adults is definitely for you. The title Loving Adults, this is a movie that has no love in it at all. It is a movie that has a lot of betrayal. It's a movie that has a lot of disturbing themes in it. And as the movie twists and turns, it elevates itself and it's never quite the same. And so just when you think you know where this movie is going, the rug is pulled from under you and you're put into a different direction. So it's a very disorientating movie, but it's disorientation that is controlled in a way that I thought the movie just worked absolutely fantastically. So the supporting cast, they all do a fairly decent job, but the movie does revolve around this main character. And I thought Sonia Richter, she's a fantastic actress, and the writing of this movie allowed her to portray a fantastic performance. And so the writing, not only does it evolve these characters in a very three-dimensional way, but it evolves the story in a way that I just thought it was a snowball effect. And so the movie has a lot of ideas thrown into it, but it's handled very well that I thought every minute of this movie was utilized. So it never outstays its welcome. I wanted to know what was going to happen. The first twist left me gobsmacked. I did not see that coming, but as I said, you get that false sense of security. You think you know where it's going because it does take you down stereotypical tropes, but then all of a sudden it pulls the rug from under you, and all of a sudden those stereotypical tropes are non-existent. So you know you're in for a ride, you know you're in for something that you haven't seen regularly. So it is a forgotten art to make a crime thriller, but as I said, Sonia Richter's performance and some of the set pieces that this movie has, it does border on a horror film. So it's extremely disturbing. It's extremely dark. There are some moments of violence that are very, very few and far between, but the violence is the impact once you hit the wall. And so when it hits you, it does hit you very hard. And because it's few and far between, it comes out of nowhere. So it just magnifies that level of disturbing brutality. So if it sounds like your kind of thing, definitely go out there and see it. I thought as though Loving Adults is incredibly underrated. It deserves a lot more attention. As I said, if you can read subtitles and watch at the same time, this movie is definitely going to impress you. So it was one of the most surprising experiences that I've had all year. I'm going to give Loving Adults 4 stars. All right, guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.